I'm Sarah Mountjoy-Pepka. I live in the 8th Ward. I'm here for the ceasefire resolution, but let me also say I support the Wesley residents and believe they have not received equity, justice, or the truth from this city. Quote, "There can be no progress towards justice or peace if we are willing to turn a blind eye to the killing of civilians anywhere." Who said that? That was you, Mayor Bess. In your statement on October 12th, 2023, I agree. But since that time, you and the city council have stonewalled all efforts by this community to do exactly what you called us to do, to make progress towards justice and peace by looking at and responding to the killing of civilians. Or did you only mean certain civilians in that statement? You have all said this isn't a local issue. President Schill was dragged into congressional hearings. Our ETHS teachers have been targeted. Bennett Johnson rejected his honorary street name. Our local interfaith clergy issued a ceasefire statement. And this weekend we had Israeli tank mock-ups in one of the middle school parking lots. We have 1,400 signatures. This is extremely local. And no, we do not have complete consensus. But did you wait for community consensus when you voted on the Northwestern Stadium? That was a stadium. People are dying. I saw a video of this weekend of a father in Gaza holding his dead, headless baby. This body of elected officials has chosen to stay silent after 8 months of this community proving this is local. So I can only conclude that your silence is approval of genocide. Prove me wrong.
Thank you very much. The next speaker will be followed by Pat Fowler and then Jack Martell.
Good evening, council members. My name is William Carter. I am one of the former residents of the Wesley Apartments. I am here alone because my community was moved out of Evanston. That was our fear, that our community will be broken apart, will be scattered. We asked for few things other than to keep our community together. We've lost that. We no longer are citizens of Evanston because we are now in a different city. Well, I'm not. For some reason, I'm still here in Evanston. The rest of my community has been scattered. What you did to the Wesley Apartments, what you did to the Wesley tenants, what you refuse to do for the Wesley tenants is sinful. God don't like ugly, he ain't too fond of pretty. And I hope he comes down on every last one of you.
Thank you very much. The next speaker.
I have two things. The point of personal privilege, and we don't typically respond to public comment. Just two things. I felt uncomfortable when people singled out our Jewish mayor as if he bears any more blame than any of us for a lack of moving a ceasefire resolution forward. And I'm really disappointed that folks aren't really seeking out truth and facts on Wesley's situation. But what I want to do is, are there two other members, and this is a genuine question, are there two other members that would want to put forward a ceasefire resolution? And if not seeing hands being raised, then I encourage the community to use the tools that you have at your disposal, which are to petition. You can create a petition, circulate it around our community, get 1,000 some odd signatures, and put a referendum on the ballot, an advisory question, and ask Evanston residents whether or not they support a ceasefire resolution. If this body isn't going to do it, and if that's an issue that you feel that you should vote us out because of, that is your right. Elections are coming up. I will happily help anyone who wants to run or wants to learn how to campaign, exercise your rights. But I shouldn't have said, but I encourage folks to petition. and get a referendum circulated, unless there's members up here who want to put a ceasefire resolution forward, and I'm not seeing it. So that's it.
Councilor Lorenz.
Hopefully this first part won't be seen as controversial, because I've said this I've met with people in the community. I actually believe that while this may not be a direct local issue, that anytime this many people petition their government to consider something, we should consider it, period. And I've said that in private, I'll say it now just so it's clear. And I've also articulated kind of what I personally would need to see in order to support a resolution, because mind you, everybody's resolution in their mind is not the same, right? There's the resolution, but then there's the contents of it, and I think obviously that's what the disagreement is. But the reason why I supported us considering a gambling ordinance tonight, which is, again, our businesses came up, you know, they asked for us to consider this, and I believe that issue deserves at least consideration of the full body, and I believe a ceasefire resolution does as well. Now, whether there's enough support to do that is another question. Secondly, I appreciate Mayor Bish for giving me a brief opportunity to just address the Wesley situation over the next several months. There'll continue to be misinformation spread about it, so I want to go and just briefly address the most pressing questions. There was a claim that people were moved out of Evanston. That's not true, especially in a scattered, kind of disorganized way. That's not true at all. There's an extended stay in Skokie that the city works with on a regular basis. It allows for 1 and 2 bedrooms, and so for people who we have not been able to locate into an apartment, which for half of the residents we have, and mind you, the majority of that group are still in the 5th Ward, not out of Evanston, and then the ones who are in the 8th Ward mostly. But for those who are not still in Evanston, in an apartment, are in an extended stay in Skokie because you can cook there and they're larger units. So that's why, and we have a good relationship with them. They provide a discount. But we're working with them to make sure that we can locate them back here in Evanston. So nobody has moved out of Evanston and nobody has been scattered away in a disorganized way. That is not true. And the last thing I just want to say is I want to commend our staff, and I've also been involved in this. Somebody said Evanston is supposed to be this progressive way. I challenge anybody, humbly, to find a city that has put this many resources in situations like this towards residents. It is unparalleled. And last example I give, just to underscore this point, somebody said, oh, they have to give away all this stuff. Not only is that not true, you know, in large part, we're providing storage assistance that we're saying we're going to pay for your belongings to be stored until you find an apartment. That's how wrong that statement is. So again, and Mayor, thank you. If you want the facts, and please reach out to me. I'm not hiding. I'm completely accessible. My cell phone is on the city's website. If you want to talk through all the facts of this issue, I'm open. Thank you.
Thank you very much.